Hi, everybody. My name is Haley, and I'm the technology librarian at Bemis Public Library. And today we're going to go over Canva. Canva is a free graphic design website that you can use to create professional looking flyers, social media posts, documents, invitations, advertisements, and so much more. It has a drag and drop functionality that makes it incredibly easy to design things exactly the way you want them to look. Canva also has access to thousands of photos and graphics, a lot of which are free to use. Or you could pay for the premium version of Canva, or you can upload your own images. No matter what it is that you're using Canva for, it's very simple and user-friendly. So even though Canva is free, you do have to create an account to access its features. So you can start by opening up your internet browser and just going to canva.com. You can choose one of these different ways to sign up. You can create an account with your Google account, with Facebook, or just with your email address. Once you enter your information, you'll click on Get Started, It's Free. Once you've gone through this process, you're going to be taken to a screen where you can choose what you are going to use Canva for. If you're not quite sure yet, you can say none of the above applies, or you can select what you're using it for. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Whoops. So this is the Canva home page. It'll look a little bit different each time you log in because as you use Canva, they'll start recommending different things and your designs will show up below. So right now we're on this home page that has a bunch of different parts to it. So down along this left-hand side, we have recommended for you, which is based on other designs you've created, designs that relate to current holidays or current events, and things like that. You're going to see suggested designs there. So with Father's Day coming up, you may see Father's Day suggestions here. All your designs takes you to a page where you can see any design that you may have started, including ones that you haven't done much work on. This is just a blank page, and Canva will save that for you. Brand kit. If you're using Canva for a small business or just a business, you can add information about the color palette, fonts, and logos that your business uses, and it makes it really simple to add those things into your Canva designs. Create a team. You can invite other people that you work with to see the designs you create. It's likely not something you will be using, but if you are working for a business, you could add your other coworkers here. All your folders. So with the free version of Canva, you can create just a couple of folders to help organize your designs. Clicking through this lets you see those kinds of things. From here, you can also organize photos that you have uploaded. And then you also have your trash, which has recently deleted designs. They won't stay in this folder forever, but this way you could get one back if you accidentally deleted something. One other thing I like to point out from this homepage is the Learn tab. And the Learn tab has the Design School. And Design School just kind of walks you through graphic design and using graphic design with Canva. They should all be free courses. So that's one of the best features of Canva, that Design School. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start our design. So I'm going to start by clicking Create a Design up in this top right-hand corner. If you don't see this, if your screen's a little bit smaller, you will see these 3 horizontal lines, and you can click on that to access them as well. Once you've done Create a Design, it gives you a bunch of different choices. You can search for something. So if I needed to do a Facebook event cover, I can just start typing that. But for today, I'm going to do a flyer. Once you've chosen what kind of design you're doing, it's going to open to a blank page where then you can find a template. So your templates show up on this left-hand side. You can scroll through some of their popular ones. If there's something you're interested in, you can click through and see more, or you can search for what kind of event you're doing. So I could search for fundraiser and then find something for fundraiser that applies to me. When you find a template that you like, you can click on it. If it's multiple pages, you'll be able to see all the pages from there. When I'm hovering over, you'll notice that it does say free in this corner, which just means that every element on this page is free. So there's no like hidden pro images or fonts or anything like that. I'm going to say apply both pages, which automatically adds a second page to my document so I can see both pages there. You can think of the template you select as a shell. You can change everything from the images to the color of the graphics to how things are laid out, even fonts. But before we go into editing, I want to go over all the different parts of the editor screen. So on this left-hand side of our screen, we have our editing menu or editing tabs. So clicking on these different icons will pull up a different contextual option menu based on what it is that you've clicked. And then there is one with more, so you can add more things. So then, like I said, the editing options appear in the middle here. Your workspace is what takes up the bulk of the screen. And so you can see any changes you're making. There is a way to zoom in and out, so that way you can see it better. Up at the top, I always love to point out an undo and a redo. So your undo button is there. Once you've undid something, you can redo from there. The other one that's important to point out is this download button. So this down arrow here is how you are able to download your designs to your computer so that way you can share them either with a print shop, through email, on social media, however it is you wanted to do that. For this template design, we're just going to do a few basic edits, and then I'll go into more detail about different features when I create my own design, not using a template. So when you want to edit text, you need to click on a section of text to highlight it. And then if it's grouped like this, you may have to click again to highlight. When you edit text here, you get the text contextual bar along the top where you were able to change your font face. Any of these that has this crown next to it, those are pro features, so those are not fonts you can use without paying for. You also have font size, font color. It's nice because Canva will pull colors that you already have in your document and let you choose from those. So if you had uploaded a photo or something like that, it would pull different colors from that photo and let you select those, so you're automatically matching. You also have your bold and italicized, your alignment, adding a list, and then in these three dots, underline, caps are, you wanted to change everything to uppercase, spacing. So if I wanted to have more space in between the words or more space in between the letters, you can adjust those. Copy style, so you can put that same style somewhere else, add a hyperlink or locks, that way you don't accidentally make any changes. You also will see ungroup right here. It'll either say ungroup or group. Everything, all of these texts were grouped together because of the template. And so now that I've ungrouped them, I'm only making changes to this one that has the blue box around it. You can move it forward, backward. You can align it to the page. change the opacity so you can make it a little bit, or transparency so you can make it a little bit see-through, as well as duplicate and delete. So I can just get rid of some of these things that I may not need. So if you choose a template that has these graphic illustrations on it, you can make changes to these as well. So you just have to click on it to select it. And then up along the top, you now have the graphic contextual menu where you can change colors. Let's make it a big difference to make it pretty obvious. So I can change that to purple, yellow. What's nice is when I change a color, I get the option to change everything in the document that's that pink color to the yellow color that I selected. And if I select that, it makes the changes everywhere. So it just switches everything. So if you've changed your mind, you don't want that as your font or your sole color anymore, you can change it easily. To move an image around, you can just click and drag it. When you've done that, you can make it bigger or smaller by clicking and dragging on the dots on the corners. And then there's also the rotate, so you can rotate it around. So other than that, templates really do all of the hard work for you. You can easily change the theme of the template from school supplies to pet supplies by adding different graphics. So just because this was a school supply drive doesn't mean that this has to stay a school supply drive. I could just draw my inspiration from this and then search Canva's graphics for different pet stuff and then do it as a pet supply drive instead. The nice thing is that Canva saves all of your changes automatically. So up at the top here, you'll see it says all changes saved. But if I needed to manually save for some reason, I can click on File and then Save, and then it'll automatically resave it. It chooses the name for the document based on the text that you have in the first text box. So this one is titled Annual School Supplies Drive. It drew that right from this. I can click right on this title here and change it to be whatever it is that I want. And then once I'm finished, I just press Enter on my keyboard and it saves it. And then all my changes have been saved. So while using templates is a really easy way to make designs, you can also do everything you need from scratch. So you can get back to your home Canva page either by clicking Home here, or Canva generally opens things in a new tab, so you should have another tab at the top. So there again, I'm going to click on Create a Design, and I'm actually going to choose Custom Dimensions. So Canva defaults to pixels for its dimensions. I'm going to make something that I can print on a piece of normal letter paper. So I'm going to change this to be inches instead of pixels. And then I'm going to make it 8.5 by 11. And once I've typed that in there, I'll say Create Design. So Canva automatically recommends templates for you to use based on the size of your creation. So based on this, it's giving some suggestions, probably all for very similar flyer things because it's a normal piece of paper size. But you will get lots of ideas and suggestions from here. If you want to change the background of your new design, you can come to your editing options here and click on background. When you click on that, you'll see a lot of different patterned backgrounds. For the most part, they're all free. You can just click on it once and get it added to your design. If you are printing, just think about your ink usage and how much ink. This would take a lot of ink and be very expensive to print. So I'm going to come up here and choose a solid color. I can click through this and pick one out, or I can click on this palette icon and then choose a very specific color. Either enter a hex code, click and drag, however it may be. What I'm going to do though is I'm just going to click on white for a simple background for printing. I personally like to start my designs with text so I know how big I can make my graphics. With the text, Canva simple mechanics really come into play. So I'm going to click on this text tab over here on the left, and it gives you lots of different options for how to add. You can click on heading, subheading, or body. It does not matter which one you click on. That just is the default size, and the heading is going to be bolder, but you can choose any of them. I end up always clicking on add a heading. When you click on it, it adds it right to your document. Move that up a little bit. You can also scroll through and select a group of text. So it's a designed group because it's giving you fonts that already look really good together. So you don't have to worry about, oh, does this calligraphy font go well with this sans serif font? You can just choose them. Same thing, you just have to click on it once and it adds it in. And then the same way it works when we were doing our template, I have to click on it once to select it, and then I can click again to get into this text. You can just change whatever it says. It should automatically resize your text box to fit everything, or you can click and drag either on the corners or in the middle. You can also rotate your text the same way we were rotating graphics earlier. All right. So now that we have this, the approximate size that we want, I'm going to change this lower one. I'm going to ungroup it so that way I can have this one be straight. We'll say car wash. Perfect. You can change the color of your text. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to click on my text color. You can type in a color that you want or enter the hex code. Oops. And it will change that for you. Perfect. All right. So now that we kind of have our text arranged, we can add some illustrations to our page. So to get to those, we're going to click on elements. There's a lot of different things here. Your top one is always going to be your recently used elements. So things that you've recently clicked on and used in a document. They'll also show you featured ones. And then there's always going to be one that's a current event or something relevant. So right now they have the coronavirus. So different free graphics you can use related to that. There's also grids, which are a way you can add different photos to your design. We'll look at this one a little bit later. Some quick and easy shapes, frames. Stickers are like animated images, so you can add those. Charts is a really fun way to add pretty data to your designs and all kinds of different things. But if you know what you're looking for, you can just search for it. So I am just going to search for bubbles and pull it up here. Generally, when you do a Canva search, the images towards the top are the free ones, and then they become more paid as you go down. When you're ready, you just click on the one you want. Same thing, you can rotate it, move it around, however you may want to do that. If you click and drag on your document, you can select multiple things. So if I'm going to select all my text, I'm actually going to move it down a little bit so I can add some more bubbles. Perfect. I'm also going to search for a car. So I can add a car to my car wash flyer. Just going to put it down in the middle. When you are moving things around, you'll see that it shows you some grid lines that kind of show you where you are on the page. So this box that's appearing is showing me the general printable margins, and then it'll show me if I'm aligned centered, both horizontally and vertically, or in relation to the other elements on the page. So you can kind of adjust what you need. So when you're ready to add a new page to your project, you have a couple different options. So you can click on the plus sign here, or you can click on add a new page at the bottom. If you had a background, it generally copies that same background to the next page down. Sometimes it doesn't, but for the most part, when you do a new page, it'll show up there. You can also move pages up and down with these up and down arrows. So if I change my mind and I actually wanted this to be the first page, I can do that just by clicking on these arrows. You can change the titles of your pages so you can help keep things organized, as well as add some different notes. If you decide you don't actually need a page, just click on that trash can and it's gone. So I'm going to come back to this Elements tab and just kind of go through some of these other things that we can do. So I'm going to keep scrolling down. So they will add different things. You will notice as you're clicking through, some of these are pro. A lot of them do say free. And then some of them have an option to pay for just an individual one. So it could be $1.99 to get to just use that one specific thing. If you really like the way a certain like the vibe of one, you can click on see all and then see all of the designs that are in that collection. You can also just close out of it there, and that takes you back to that first screen. The other thing I want to show you is you have this ability to upload your own photos to Canva. So if you click on uploads on this left-hand side, these are all photos that I've uploaded. And all you have to do is click on upload. Then it's going to open your computer browser. If it loads, there it goes. And so then from here, you can upload something that you may want. Let's see. And once you've uploaded it, you can click and drag. If you drag to the edge, it'll fill the whole screen. If you drag to the middle, it'll insert it as just an image. You can also just click on it once to have it insert. Once you've inserted an image, you can change the effects. So some of these are pro effects, but a lot of them are not. You can choose those. There's also filters you can add. So if you're used to Instagram, it's similar to that. So you can just apply a filter and it'll do those. You can adjust that photo. So if you needed it to be a little less bright, if you needed to adjust the contrast, anything like that, you can do that under adjust. You can also crop your image. When you click on crop, it brings up these corners that you can move. Just click and drag. And then when you're finished, click on done. If I click on crop again, I have the option of bringing back my previous cropped content. Then you can also flip horizontally or vertically if you need to do that. You can also change the transparency of an image. This is really good if you're trying to use an image as a background, because sometimes that full solid image is too much. You won't be able to see your text on it. If you just take it down on that transparency level, it makes it a lot easier to read. I do want to show you the grids. I'm going to come back over to elements and then scroll back up here. So I can add a 2 by grid here. You can resize it. It's going to default to taking up your whole screen, but you can adjust that. And then if you have an uploaded photo, you can drag it into that frame. If I double click on it, I can adjust what's visible. So that's a good way if you just need to have, you know, a kind of quick collage, you can do that. You can also do it as a solid color. So if you just wanted some different things like that, you have those choices. You do also have the option of searching photos directly on Canva. A lot of these are free, copyright free, so you can use them without worry. Some of them you do have to pay for, but you can search for them, and it can be whatever that you may want, and then you can just insert it. You do also, if you're making a video or anything like that, you can add music, you can add videos, and different elements. But these would be more for online videos than flyers or invitations or anything like that. All right, so in theory, now we're finished with our project. I'm going to delete this second page. June 17. So now that you've finished your project, you want to rename it. So this one didn't pull that Bemis Public Library, so I would just want to say BPL Car Wash Testing Flyer. Press enter on my keyboard to save that. And then now that you have a good name for it, you can download it. So this one has a big download button, so I'm just going to click right on download. And then you get a couple different file types. So PNG is just a photo file type. JPEG is also a photo file type, but PNG is going to be a little bit of a higher quality. You can do PDF standard, PDF prints, as well as an animation if you have the Pro subscription. Once you are ready, I'm going to click PDF print. You can say download. If I have 2 pages on my document, let me add some color here so we can tell what we're doing. I don't have to download all the pages at once. I can just select page 2 or just select page 1, whatever it is that I wanted to download. But when you're ready, you click on download. It takes a second, and then your download will appear down at the very bottom. They live in the downloads folder on your computer, unless you've changed that. That's where they'll show up. And then now I have print files for my car wash. If you decide you don't need a design anymore, I'm going to come back to this Canva homepage. and I can click on all my designs. And then I can either do a check mark to select multiple, or click on these three dots and say move to trash, and it gets rid of those for me. You should see a live preview of what you've done in your on your designs when you're looking at them this way. Sometimes it takes a second to upload those new designs, so don't be worried if you don't see the changes reflected in the preview. You'll see them when you click through them. All right, there we have it. Thank you all so much.